Dr. Kim Ta could not believe her eyes. The signal on her screen was unlike anything she had ever seen before. After 15 years of searching the stars for signs of alien life, she had found something real. "Captain Han, you need to see this," she said, her voice shaking. Captain Han Jun walked across the control room of Earth's deep space listening station. The year was 2087, and humanity had already built homes on the Moon and Mars. But they had never met anyone from beyond their solar system. Until now. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" asked Captain Han, a tall man with serious eyes. "A message, not from Earth, not from our colonies, from them." Dr. Kim pointed at a distant star on the map. Captain Han's eyes grew wide. "Are you sure?" "Yes. The pattern is too perfect to be natural. Someone made this signal and sent it to us." For 3 days and nights, Dr. Kim worked to understand the alien message. She hardly ate or slept. Her team brought her coffee and food, but she barely touched them. The message was like a puzzle, and she was determined to solve it. On the 4th day, she called Captain Han again. "I've done it," she said. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but she was smiling. "I know what they're saying." "Tell me," said Captain Han. "They call themselves the Galactic Confederation. 7 different alien species working together. They'd been watching Earth for decades, and now they think we're ready to meet them." Captain Han frowned. "Ready? Who are they to decide if we're ready?" Dr. Kim showed him the translation. "They want to meet us near Saturn in 3 months. They say they come in peace and wish to welcome humanity to the galactic community." News of the alien message spread quickly. The Earth's United Council held emergency meetings. Some nations wanted to meet the aliens right away. Others worried it might be a trap. "We should go," argued Dr. Kim at one of these meetings. "This is our chance to learn about the universe beyond our solar system." "We should be careful," countered Captain Han. "We know nothing about these aliens or what they really want." After weeks of debate, the Council made its decision. Earth would send a ship to meet the aliens. The ship would be called the UES Horizon, and Captain Han would command it. Dr. Kim would go too, along with scientists and soldiers. The best Earth had to offer. As they prepared for the mission, Dr. Kim spent more time studying the alien message. One night, she noticed something strange. "Captain, look at this part of the message," she said, pointing to her screen. "The way they describe Earth, it's like they're talking about a child or a pet, not an equal." Captain Han studied the translation. "You're right. They're being, what's the word?" "Condescending," said Dr. Kim. "Like they think they're better than us." "Maybe they are better in some ways," said Captain Han. "They've probably been traveling between stars for thousands of years, while we've barely left our own planet. That doesn't mean they should look down on us," said Dr. Kim. "I'm starting to think they're not telling us everything." As the day of launch approached, Dr. Kim couldn't shake her feeling that something was wrong. The alien's message was friendly on the surface, but underneath, she sensed something else. Pride. Arrogance. The Confederation didn't see humans as partners or equals. "Be ready for anything," Captain Han told his crew as they boarded the UES Horizon. "We go to meet new friends, but we must be prepared if they turn out to be enemies." The ship rose from Earth, carrying humanity's hopes and fears into the darkness of space. In 3 weeks, they would reach Saturn. In 3 weeks, they would meet the aliens. And nothing would ever be the same again. The UES Horizon slowed as it approached Saturn. The giant planet's rings stretched out like a golden road through space. Captain Han Jun stood on the bridge, his hands clasped behind his back. "Any sign of them?" he asked. "Nothing yet, sir," said the radar officer. Dr. Kim Ta checked her equipment again. For 3 weeks, she had been sending the agreed-upon response signal. The aliens should be here. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared ahead of them. It grew larger and brighter until the crew had to shield their eyes. When they looked again, an enormous ship hung in space before them. It's beautiful, whispered Dr. Kim. The alien vessel looked like a giant crystal. It caught the distant sunlight and broke it into 1,000 colors. It was at least 20 times bigger than the horizon. They're sending a message, said Dr. Kim, reading her screen. They welcome us and invite us to dock with their ship. Captain Han nodded. Tell them we accept. But be ready, he said to his crew. We don't know what waits for us inside. The team that would board the alien ship gathered in the airlock. Captain Han, Dr. Kim, Dr. Park Sung, the xenobiologist, Commander Lee Yuna, the security chief, and Engineer Choi Du, the technology specialist. Remember, said Captain Han, we represent all of Earth today. Be respectful, but careful. They stepped through the connecting tunnel into the alien ship. The air smelled strange but breathable. The walls glowed with soft light. A tall figure waited for them. It stood on 4 legs, with 4 arms and a body like a giant insect. Its head had large compound eyes that reflected the team's faces back at them. Welcome, humans, it said in perfect English. I am Ambassador Krell of the Galactic Confederation. We have waited long to meet you. Dr. Kim stepped forward. Thank you for inviting us, Ambassador. We are honored to be here. Krell led them through corridors that seemed to be made of living crystal. They passed other aliens, some with tentacles, others with wings, all larger than humans. The Confederation has ruled this sector of space for 10,000 years, said Krell. 7 species working together in harmony. And now you want humans to join? Asked Dr. Park. In time, perhaps, said Krell. First, you must prove yourselves worthy. They entered a vast hall where 6 other aliens waited around a table. Each looked different from the others. One was like a giant jellyfish floating in a special tank. Another was covered in fur. A third seemed made of living metal. The Council of 7, said Krell. The leaders of our confederation. The human team sat down, feeling small among these strange beings. We have studied your planet for many years, said the metal being. You have potential, despite your primitive technology. Commander Lee frowned. Primitive. We've built colonies on other worlds. Yes, said the furry alien, making a sound like laughter. Very impressive, for such a young species. The meeting continued for hours. The aliens showed the humans amazing technology. Machines that could heal any wound, engines that could bend space, weapons that could destroy planets. We offer you a place in our community, said Krell. We will share some of our knowledge with you. In exchange, we ask only for mining rights to Jupiter's moons. That seems very generous, said Captain Han carefully. It is, said Krell. We are a generous people. Later, as they returned to their ship, Engineer Choi whispered, Did anyone else feel like they were treating us like children? Like pets, said Commander Lee. Or toys. Dr. Kim was quiet. During the meeting, she had been watching the aliens closely. The way they spoke to each other when they thought the humans weren't paying attention. They're hiding something, she said finally. The way they talk about us when they think we can't understand. They call us the new resource. What does that mean? Captain Han looked back at the crystal ship. I don't know. But I think we need to be very careful about what deal we make with the Confederation. That night, as the horizon orbited near the alien vessel, Dr. Kim couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the patterns in the alien language, the hidden messages. Something wasn't right. The Confederation wasn't telling them everything. And she was determined to find out what they were hiding. The UES Horizon returned to Earth carrying gifts from the Confederation. The aliens had given them samples of their technology, small devices that could clean water, heal wounds, and generate power. World leaders gathered at the United Council to see these wonders. The Confederation offers us a bright future, said the Council President. We should accept their deal. Captain Han Jun stood up. With respect, Madam President, I think we need more time. Something doesn't feel right about this offer. Captain Han is correct, said Dr. Kim Ta. The Confederation is not telling us everything. Most of the council members shook their heads. They could only see the amazing alien technology. They couldn't see the danger. Back in her lab, Dr. Kim worked day and night. During their visit to the alien ship, she had secretly copied parts of their language database. Now she was trying to translate more of it. Engineer Choi knocked on her door late one night. "Dr. Kim, you need to see this," he said, placing one of the alien gifts on her desk. It was a small silver sphere that could purify water. "What about it?" asked Dr. Kim. Choi carefully opened the sphere with special tools. Under a microscope, he showed her something tiny inside, smaller than a grain of sand. "It's a listening device," he said. "They're spying on us." Dr. Kim wasn't surprised. Check all their gifts. See how many contain these devices. The answer was all of them. Every gift from the Confederation was watching and listening. Meanwhile, Dr. Park Sung made an important discovery. He had been studying the biological data they collected from the alien ship. "Look at this comparison," he said, showing Dr. Kim and Captain Han his findings. "Humans adapt to new environments faster than any Confederation species. Our brains form new connections more quickly. Our bodies adjust to different gravities, temperatures, and air types better than theirs." "Why is that important?" asked Captain Han. "Because they may not know this about us," said Dr. Park. "They think we're weak because our technology isn't as advanced. But in some ways, we're stronger than they are." That night, Dr. Kim made a breakthrough with the alien language. She found files about other species the Confederation had contacted in the past. "Captain, look at this," she said, showing Han her computer. The Confederation contacted the Xerillians 300 years ago. They offered them the same deal, technology in exchange for mining rights. Within 50 years, the Xerillians were working in the Confederation's mines themselves. "They became slaves?" asked Captain Han. "Not officially. But yes, the same thing happened to the Vulturi and the Menth. They started as partners and ended up as workers and soldiers for the Confederation. Commander Li Yuna joined them. So that's their game. They don't want partners. They want servants. And they think we'll be easy to control," said Dr. Kim. "They're wrong." For the next week, the team gathered evidence. They found that the Confederation had done this many times before. Contacted primitive species, given them just enough technology to become dependent, then slowly taken control of their worlds. "We need to warn the Council," said Captain Han. But when they presented their findings, many Council members didn't believe them. "These aliens can give us the stars," said one leader. "Why would we refuse?" "Because the price is too high," said Captain Han. "Our freedom." The Council was divided. Some wanted to accept the Confederation's offer right away. Others wanted more time to think. "We need to stall for time," said Dr. Kim to her team later. "We need to learn more about the Confederation and find their weaknesses." "What if they grow impatient?" asked Engineer Choi. Captain Han's face was grim. "Then we fight. But first, we prepare." As they spoke, Dr. Park looked at his data again. "There's something else you should see," he said. "Something about humans that the Confederation has completely missed." He showed them his research. When they understood what it meant, they knew they had found humanity's greatest hope against the alien threat. The Confederation had made a serious mistake. They had underestimated humans. And soon, they would learn just how badly. 6 months passed. Earth kept talking with the Confederation, asking questions and requesting more time to consider their offer. Behind the scenes, humans were getting ready for trouble. Captain Han-jun trained space pilots every day. They practiced new flying moves that no one had tried before. They learned to use Earth's gravity to move quickly and hide from bigger ships. "The Confederation ships are powerful but slow," Captain Han told his pilots. "We must be fast and surprising." Dr. Kim Ta worked with language experts from around the world. They created a new way to send secret messages that the aliens couldn't understand. "We need to talk without them listening," she explained. "This code uses human things the aliens don't understand, jokes, songs, Old stories. Engineer Choi do studied the alien technology. He took apart the gifts they had given Earth and learned how they worked. Then he made them better. Their technology is amazing, he told the others. But they haven't changed it in 1,000 years. They've stopped looking for new ideas. The Confederation grew tired of waiting. Their leader, High Commander Vex, sent a message to Earth. "You have had enough time," said the alien. "Sign our agreement now." "We need just a little more time," said the Council President. "Our people are still discussing your generous offer." The alien's eyes narrowed. "Very well. 1 more month. No longer." The next day, strange objects appeared in orbit around Earth. "What are those?" asked Dr. Kim, looking at the radar screen. "They say they're observation posts," said Captain Han. "But look at their design. They're weapons platforms." "They're getting ready to attack," said Commander Lee. The United Council called an emergency meeting. They had to make a decision. "We aren't ready for a war with the Confederation," said the defense minister. "Their technology is too advanced." "But we've learned a lot in 6 months," said Engineer Choi. "And we found some of their weaknesses." After hours of debate, the council approved a dangerous plan. Operation Trojan Horse. Captain Han and a small team would return to the Confederation mothership. They would pretend they were ready to sign the agreement. But their real mission was to gather intelligence and plant computer viruses in the alien systems. "It's very dangerous," said the council president. "If they catch you, they'll kill you." Captain Han nodded. "We understand, but it's our best chance." As they prepared for the mission, Commander Lee Yuna made a surprising discovery. She had been studying the different alien species in the Confederation and found that one group, the Nivar, were treated badly by the others. "Look at this," she said, showing the team a video she had recorded. It showed small blue-skinned aliens doing the hardest work on the Confederation ship. Other aliens gave them orders and sometimes hit them. "The Nivar aren't equal partners," said Commander Lee. "They're second-class citizens. Maybe they would help us." When the team returned to the Confederation ship, Commander Lee found a way to speak privately with a Navar engineer named Tekril. "Why do you serve them?" she asked. "They treat you badly." Tekril looked around nervously. "We have no choice. Long ago, we were like you. The Confederation came to our world and offered technology. We accepted. Now we work for them forever." "Help us," said Commander Lee. "We can work together against them." "It would be very dangerous," said Tekril. "But there are many Nivar who are unhappy. I will talk to them." Meanwhile, Captain Han and Dr. Kim met with High Commander Vex. "We are pleased you have finally seen reason," said Vex. "Soon, humans will be a productive part of our great Confederation." Captain Han smiled politely. "We look forward to learning from your wisdom." As they talked, Engineer Choi was secretly installing special software in the alien computers. The software looked harmless, but it would let humans access the Confederation's systems later. What the aliens didn't know was that Earth was getting ready for a fight the Confederation never expected to have because they thought humans were too weak and primitive to resist. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The inside of the Confederation ship felt different this time. Captain Han-jun noticed it right away. "The air is thinner," he said quietly to his team. "And the gravity is stronger." Dr. Kim Tai checked her instruments. "They've changed the environment to match their home world, not ours. They're testing us." The humans felt heavy and had trouble breathing. Their legs hurt and their heads ached, but they didn't complain. They kept walking, kept smiling, kept pretending everything was fine. High Commander Vex watched them closely. "Are you comfortable?" he asked, knowing they were not. "Very comfortable, thank you," said Captain Han, standing straight despite the pain in his legs. The aliens seemed surprised. According to their research, humans should be struggling much more in these conditions. Later, the aliens invited the humans to a special dinner. Dr. Kim knew this was another test. She scanned the food with a hidden device and found it contained mild toxins, not enough to kill, but enough to make most species very sick. They want to see how weak we are, she whispered to the others. When dinner began, Dr. Kim ate everything on her plate. The others followed her example. The toxins made her stomach hurt and her head spin, but her human liver worked quickly to process the poison. She showed no signs of being sick. The aliens watched in confusion. Their tests weren't working as expected. Meanwhile, Engineer Choi-do was asked to solve a complex engineering problem as part of the cultural exchange. The aliens gave him what they thought was an impossible task for a human: fixing a broken power relay using unfamiliar tools. To their surprise, Choi not only fixed it but improved it. His hands moved quickly, his mind adapting to the new technology faster than the aliens thought possible. "How did you do that?" asked a Confederation engineer. "I just tried different things until it worked," said Choi with a shrug. What he didn't say was that humans were good at finding new solutions because they hadn't been doing things the same way for thousands of years like the Confederation had. In another part of the ship, Dr. Park Sung was studying alien biology with Confederation scientists. They showed him complex charts and data, expecting him to be confused. Instead, Dr. Park quickly understood the information and started asking smart questions. He even pointed out connections the aliens had missed. "Your ability to see patterns is unexpected," said the chief alien scientist. "Humans are good at finding connections," said Dr. Park. "We had to survive on Earth." The most surprising moment came during a meeting about cooperation between species. The aliens were coldly logical, treating everything like a business deal. But when Captain Han told a story about Earth children helping each other after a flood, Dr. Kim noticed something strange. The aliens seemed confused by the concept of helping others without getting something in return. They didn't understand human emotions like compassion and loyalty. "Your species is driven by feelings," said High Commander Vex. It wasn't a compliment. "Yes," said Captain Han. "Our emotions give us strength." That night, the alien leaders held a private meeting. "These humans are adapting faster than expected," said Vex. "Their bodies are handling our environment well. Their minds grasp our technology quickly. And they have strange ideas about helping each other," said another alien. "They call it teamwork and friendship." "It doesn't matter," said Vex. "Our technology is still far superior. They cannot stand against us." What Vex didn't know was that Engineer Choi's virus was already spreading through their computers, collecting information and creating backdoors for Earth to use later. And what none of the Confederation leaders realized was that the very things they saw as human weaknesses, our emotions, our adaptability, our creativity, were actually our greatest strengths. The aliens had studied humans for years, but they still didn't understand us. And that would be their biggest mistake. High Commander Vex stood before the Confederation Council. His forearms moved with anger as he spoke. "The humans are stalling us," he said. "They pretend to negotiate while they prepare for resistance. This cannot continue." "What do you suggest?" asked one of the council members. "We must show them our power," said Vex. "Attack their moon colony. Once they see how easily we destroy it, they will surrender." The council agreed. Without warning Earth, they sent 5 warships toward the moon. Back on the Confederation mothership, Captain Han-jun and his team were finishing their mission. Engineer Choi-do had planted his virus. Dr. Kim Tai had gathered important information about the alien language and technology. They were almost ready to return to Earth. Then alarms sounded throughout the ship. "What's happening?" asked Dr. Kim. A Nivar crew member ran past them. It was Tekril, Commander Lee's contact. "Hide," he told them. "They've ordered your arrest. They're attacking your moon." Before they could move, alien guards surrounded them. High Commander Vex approached. "Did you think we didn't know what you were doing?" he said. "We let you wander our ship, plant your primitive virus, gather your little bits of information. It amused us. The guards took the humans to a prison cell deep in the ship." "Earth will never surrender," said Captain Han. They will when they see what happens to those who defy us, said Vex. As soon as Vex left, the team looked for a way to escape. The cell was strong, but Engineer Choi found a weak spot in the door lock. I can short-circuit it, he said, but we'll need a distraction. Before they could make a plan, they heard fighting outside. The doors slid open, and Tekril stood there with 3 other Nivar. Quickly, he said, we must get you to an escape pod. They ran through the corridors, avoiding guards. Tekril explained as they moved. The attack on your moon has begun, but your people were ready. They're fighting back. How is that possible? Asked Dr. Kim. Our weapons are so much weaker than theirs. See for yourselves, said Tekril, showing them a view screen. On the screen, small human ships darted around the larger Confederation vessels. The human ships moved in ways the aliens had never seen before, using the moon's gravity to sling themselves at high speeds, attacking from unexpected. Captain Han Jun's team made it back to Earth safely. As soon as they landed, they rushed to the United Council's Emergency Command Center deep underground. The Confederation's network has no real protection, said Dr. Kim Tai, showing the Council the data Tekril had given them. They never thought a lesser species could hack their systems. Can we use this? Asked the Council President. Engineer Choi nodded. I've already created a virus that can shut down their weapons for a short time. We just need to get it into their main system. And I have a plan to do that, said Captain Han. The plan was called Operation Phoenix. It would be dangerous, but it was Earth's best hope. First, Engineer Choi and his team would launch the virus into the Confederation network. The Confederation requested a ceasefire. For the first time in their long history, they had to admit they could not win easily. The battle around Earth had changed everything. Captain Han Jun, Dr. Kim Tai, and their team returned to the Confederation mothership. But this time they didn't go as visitors. They went as equals. The meeting room looked different now. The huge table where the aliens had once looked down on humans was gone. Instead, there was a round table with chairs of equal height for everyone. High Commander Vex entered with the Confederation Council. The alien leader looked smaller somehow, less sure of himself. We have misjudged your species, said Vex. This is an unexpected situation. For you, maybe, said Captain Han. But we knew what we could do, even if you didn't. The Supreme Council leader, the oldest and wisest of the Confederation aliens, spoke next. In our records, we classified humans as Class 3 primitives, he said. Species that are intelligent but not advanced, easy to control through superior technology. Dr. Kim laughed softly. And what do you think now? Now, said the Supreme Leader, we recognize you as equals. As the negotiations began, each side shared information. The Confederation admitted they had grown comfortable and stopped changing over thousands of years. They had forgotten how to adapt, how to find new solutions to problems. Our society became fixed, said one council member. We do things the same way we did 5,000 years ago, because it worked then. That's no way to grow, said Dr. Kim. Life is about change and adaptation. Dr. Park Sung presented his research to the aliens. He showed them how human evolution was different from the Confederation species. Humans evolved as prey animals first, he explained. Large predators hunted our ancestors. We had to be smart, work together, and adapt quickly to survive. Later, we became predators ourselves. He showed brain scans comparing humans to Confederation species. Your brains are good at following rules and traditions. Our brains are good at finding new patterns and solving unexpected problems. We think differently because of our different evolutionary history. The aliens were fascinated. They had never met a species with Earth's particular evolutionary path before. This explains much, said the Supreme Leader. Your creativity, your adaptability, your strange emotional bonds. These come from your unique history. As the days passed, the negotiations continued. The humans didn't want war. They wanted partnership, Real partnership, not the fake one the Confederation had originally offered. "We can help each other," said Captain Han. "Your technology and our creativity together could solve problems neither of us can solve alone." Dr. Kim added, "And we have more to offer than just technology. Human art, music, stories. These could bring new ideas to your civilization." The Nevar representatives, now included in the talks as equals for the first time, agreed enthusiastically. "We have felt the same for centuries," said their leader. But no one would listen. On the final day of negotiations, the Supreme Leader made a surprising admission. "For 10,000 years, the Confederation has ruled through superior power," he said. "We saw other species as resources to be used, not partners to work with. We were wrong." He looked at the humans with new respect. "Your resistance has taught us an important lesson, a lesson we needed to learn." The new agreement they signed was nothing like the original offer. Earth would join a reformed confederation, not as servants but as full partners. All species would have equal rights and voices. Technology would be shared freely. And Earth's unique strengths would be valued, not dismissed. As Captain Han and his team prepared to return to Earth with the historic agreement, High Commander Vex approached them. "I did not believe your species capable of what you have achieved," he said. "I was wrong. We all were." Dr. Kim smiled. "That's the problem with underestimating others," she said. "Sometimes they surprise you." And humanity had surprised the Confederation in ways they could never have imagined. 5 years passed. Earth and the Confederation changed in ways no one could have imagined before. Admiral Han Jun, formerly Captain Han, stood on the bridge of the UGS Unity, the largest ship in the new United Galactic Fleet. The ship was a marvel of combined technology, Confederation power systems, and human innovation working together. "Admiral, the delegates are ready," said his second-in-command, a Navar named Keleth. Han nodded. "Let's welcome them." The Unity was hosting representatives from all member worlds of the reformed Galactic Confederation, now called the Galactic Alliance. The old Confederation had become something new and better. In the Great Meeting Hall, Dr. Kim Ta welcomed visitors from 20 different planets. As head of the Galactic Cultural Exchange, she had spent 5 years helping species understand each other. "Today we celebrate 5 years of true partnership," she said to the gathered aliens and humans. 5 years of working together as equals. On Earth, things had changed too. Confederation technology had helped humans clean up pollution and fix the damage done to Earth's environment. Human creativity had helped alien scientists solve problems they had struggled with for centuries. Dr. Park Sung now led the Combined Biological Research Center, where scientists from all species studied together. Their work had created new medicines and treatments that helped everyone. "We've learned so much from each other," Dr. Park told a group of young scientists. The Confederation had knowledge, but humans asked questions they had stopped asking long ago. In orbit around Jupiter, Engineer Choi Du showed visitors the newest, faster-than-light drive. It was 10 times more efficient than the original Confederation design. "We found a new way to channel the energy," Choi explained. "Something no one tried before, because they always did it the old way." Commander Lee Yume, now General Lee, trained the first mixed-species security forces. Humans, Navar, and other aliens learned from each other's strengths. "Humans are adaptable. Navar are precise. Zith are strong," she told her trainees. "Together, we're better than any of us alone." That evening, a special ceremony was held to mark the 5-year anniversary of the First Contact Agreement. The former Supreme Leader of the Confederation spoke to the gathered crowd. "When we first came to Earth," he said, "we thought we were adding another servant species to our empire. We were wrong in ways we could not imagine." He gestured to the humans and aliens working together around them. "Instead, we found partners who changed us as much as we changed them. The humans taught us what we had forgotten over thousands of years: to question, to adapt, to see things in new ways." Admiral Han took the stage next. 5 years ago, we stood on the edge of war," he said. Today, we stand together as friends and partners. We've built something better than any of us could have built alone. As he spoke, urgent news arrived. Long-range sensors had detected signs of an intelligent civilization in a distant star system. The Alliance would soon have a chance to make first contact with a new species. "We've already chosen the ship and crew for this mission," said Admiral Han, "and we will not repeat the mistakes of the past." The ship would be the UGS Friendship, commanded by a human Navar team. Its mission would be true diplomatic contact, not conquest or exploitation, but an honest offer of friendship and exchange. As the ceremony ended, Admiral Han stood with Dr. Kim, watching the stars through the great view window. "Do you remember when they thought we were just primitive creatures?" asked Dr. Kim with a smile. "Yes," said Han. "They underestimated us. But in the end, that was good for everyone." "The universe is better when we work together," said Dr. Kim. "When we value our differences instead of fearing them." High above Earth, ships from a dozen worlds moved in perfect formation, a symbol of the new galactic alliance. Human ships flew alongside alien vessels, former enemies now friends and partners. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, a new civilization was about to learn that the galaxy was a bigger, friendlier place than they ever imagined. ****. The end ****.